So, dear students, today we'll discuss about Module 4. So, Module 4, the contents are user-defined functions. So, in this, we can go through what exactly function means, what are the types of functions are available, and function definition and function call and function declaration. So, we'll discuss about those things, but also classification of functions, categories of functions. We can go ahead for this with some of the uh, program example. Okay, so that's about the function topic. Then we need to discuss about in the next class or next video we discuss about structure and unions. What exactly what is structure? So what is the how we can define the structure, how to declare a structure, how to access the structure members, and how to initialize the structure with program. Same, while we can discuss about union also, how to define union, how to declare a union, how to access the members of that particular union. So all those things, and how to initialize the member of particular union, how to initialize a union. So those things we'll discuss uh, today's class. So mainly today's video we discuss about functions. Okay, what exactly mean functions? So functions are nothing but is a set of statements. Functions are nothing but a set of statements that will take some specific input. It will read some specific input, and it will give some deserved output. So before, while giving the producing the output, it do some specific task. It will do some specific computation. That is what we called as a function. So function is a set of statement that takes some inputs and do some computation or specific task and produces the output. That is what we called as a function. So what is the need of functions? Okay, so if you are doing the things repeatedly, for example, doing the things means same things I'll repeatedly if I'm do in a program. So or whatever the writing the same code repeatedly in a 10 to 10 times in my program, rather than that one, whenever you need to execute the same set of statement, you can make that particular all the group of statement as in one particular function. Whenever you need to uh, execute those set of statement, just you call that function. That's it. 10 times you can call same function, you'll get the 10 results. You can pass any different types of inputs, so definitely you'll get a deserved output. Whatever the input, specific input you are passing, so it's related to that specific output or desired output, it will come through function. So that is the main advantage of the function. So function so many, either modularity, the advantages of function is it will support for modularity. We can write the structured program, so we can errors we can what you can easily find. Okay, reusable code you can reuse. So many advantages are there in functions. So how to define a function? So how to define a function? I told function is nothing but a it's a set of statement. Functions are nothing but a what? It's a set of statement. So what are all the set of statements here? Executable statements, statement 1, statement 2, statement 3, statement 4, n number of statements are there. This is what we call it's a set of statement. So it will take some specific input either through variables or whatever the parameter you are passing through. It will take some input and it will give some output. It will give some specific output. Nothing but it will return some value. Okay, if the function. So it will do, this is what we called as a function. Function is a set of statement. It will take some specific input and it will give some deserved output. That is what we called as a function. So how to define a function? So function, it's having its own return type. So if I want to return an integer value, the function then int. What is the return type? Int. So followed by a function name. So if I want to call a particular group of set of statement together, I want to give a name. So there it's a function name will come. So function name always it's having function means always having the open parenthesis and close parenthesis. Within that you can pass the parameter or you can pass the argument. You can pass whatever the argument or list of parameters are required, just you can pass over here. So this is what you call as it's a representation of your function. You are defining a function. So open flower bracket and close flower bracket. Within that you have a executable statement, set of executable statement. Within that function, it can use, it can whatever the declare variables. Those variables are what you call as a local variables. Local variables are nothing but the scope of the variable should be limited to only within this function. Those variables are what you call as a local variables. For example, I need to declare total. Total here, total. So just I want to make a plus b plus c. Here I am passing the abc parameter. Total is a local variable. Total is equal to a plus b plus c. Here itself I can print if it is a void. Void means what? It won't return any value. Function won't return any value means I can declare it's a void. Then return here, the return statement is not required. Why? Because my data return type is void. Void is nothing but it's a special data type. It won't return any value. It won't return any value from this particular function. If it is an integer is there means int is there means so total. I don't want to print here itself, just return total here. So where this function is called, there it will, that value will go, and any variable you can use and you can store that value. So here function definition, it's having the return type, function name followed by a parameter list, and so body of the function, it's having local variable, nothing but a local variable declaration, and all the executable statement. The function may have return statement. So this is how we can define my function. So if I define this function, somebody need to call. Where it need to call? Somebody means within a main program. If I need to execute this set of statement, this function should call in where? In main. So if it is called, immediately it will come and it will execute this function. Once it's executed, once it will return, then that particular the execution flow will go back to your main. It will continue your main program. There it will. I need required what? This is function definition is required. After that, function call is required. So function call. So function call is very important. So three important things. How example for function definition. Here I return void add int a comma int b. Nothing but a void means what? Void is nothing but a it's a function, it's a return type, it won't return any value. This add function, it won't return any value. That means what? In total is equal to a plus b, it won't return the total. If you want to print the total here itself within this the body of the function here itself, you write the printf and print the total value. So that is the mean of this is function definition. Function definition having the return type, the function name, and int a comma int b. Here what you call as a parameter. I am passing the two parameter in the function definition. So in total is a local variable. Total is equal to a plus b. This is an executable statement. If you want to print here it's a total, you can print over here. Okay, because this function it won't. I want to return total means I would need to return total means just return void you can remove, just you can put it as a int, then return total you can mention that value, total value it will return to where the function is called. So like this, that's a function definition. So function call and function declaration. So in any program, the three things are very important. Function declaration, function call, and function definition. What do you mean by function call? Wherever you need to execute that function, which function? I need to execute this function. This one nothing but a function definition, or this is an example. What I need to do? I need to call a function. Whenever I want to add a two number means, I need to call that function in your main. How to call? Function name followed by parameter list. Function name followed by parameter list. Here, how many parameter I am passing in this example? How many parameter? Two parameter I am passing in add function, a comma b. Both are integer variable. So then I need to pass 2 comma 4. 2. This is what? Where you are calling function, it's having the actual parameter. What it's having? Actual parameter. 2 is stored in a variable. 4 is stored in b variable. After once this function is called, so add function is called, immediately it will go and it will execute this particular function. Once executed, if there is no return value, just here itself you can use the printf statement, you print that total value. Then after that it will come back to your main program. So I need to call the function. So this is add function. What are all the parameter you pass? Just you mentioned those parameters. So that's our calling function is over. Then after that, so additional another important thing. What is a function declaration? Function declaration is nothing but it's also called as a function prototype. So So this is what is in beginning itself, beginning of your program itself, you need to mention this particular function declaration. What is the return type? What is the function name? How many number of argument you are passing, and put the semicolon at the this particular statement. You need to put the semicolon. This is what you call the function declaration. So example, void add int a comma int b. Nothing but here return type, the compiler can easily understand what is the return type or void is the return type, what is the function name, it will understand how many argument you are passing, and what is the type of arguments, what is the type of parameter you are passing, the compiler will understand. So whenever this function is called, then immediately it will check what is its return type, what is the number of arguments. If the mismatch is happened, immediately it throws an error. So function declaration helps to identifying the error. So that's these three things are very important. Function declaration in beginning of your program, then function call and function definition. So these things are very important. So the one example. So here what, program to find maximum of two numbers using a function. So nothing but here I need to identify the find the maximum of two numbers. Nothing but I am passing it two numbers. So on that, which number is the holds the maximum value. So that is the one program I need to write using what, using user defined function. So user defined function, here first what I need to mention, the function prototype. Function prototype is also called as a function declaration. Int maximum of int a comma int b, put semicolon. So this is what you call as an, it's a function, it's a function declaration. It's also called as a function prototype. So comes to here next. So the compiler can understand, okay, it's having a function, nothing but a user defined function, that's return type is integer, and we need to pass two arguments. Argument types are integer, so that compiler can easily understand. So now I am writing the void main program, the C program. It's having at least one program. That program should be main. Here how many functions are there? Two functions are there. One is user defined function, so another is the main function. The operating system invoke main function, then it will comes to the body of that function, main function. Here how many arguments we declared? Three arguments. One is the x, y and max. So totally three arguments, because x and y, I need to enter the two numbers. Those numbers are x and y numbers. So I require two variables. Then I need to compute the max. Then max, nothing but is it a x value is maximum or y value is maximum? That is computed by the max function. Once it's computed, it will return some value. That value is stored in another variable. That variable is what you call as a max variable. It will hold the result of your whatever the function. So it's a max variable. Then printf, enter the two numbers. Oh, enter the x value and y value. That is the mean. So I need to read the value, means scanf is required. So I need to store the x value in a particular memory location and y value in a particular location. So it will store x value as a maybe example 5, y value is in 10. So once I have the x and y value, then what? Now I need to call a function, because I need to identify the maximum of two numbers, which value is greatest value, okay? So or bigger number. So those. So I call the function maximum of x comma y. So whatever the function, because this function it will return the integer value. It will return integer value. That value should be stored somewhere. So that's why I'm using max. Max is equal to, I'm calling the function. It will, this function, it will return some value. That value need to store some variable. So for that reason, max is equal to, I required one variable to hold this value. What the max function it will return, that value need to store in a particular variable. So that's why max is equal to, I'm writing max is equal to maximum of x comma. Once this particular function is called, immediately the execution flow will immediately move to the where function definition. This is what we call as an, it's a calling function. This is what called as a calling function. Calling functions having the actual parameter x comma y. What is the x value? 5. What is the y value? It's a 10. So these two are what you call as an actual parameter. So comes to here. So this is already memory is located, maybe x is located in a 1000 location, y is located in 1004 location. Once that having x having the value 5 and y value also having 10. So once we have that particular thing, Then we move to directly the where the function is defined. That previous one is what you call as an, this one is what you call as a calling function. This is what you call as a called function. Called function is nothing but a what? It's a function definition. This is what you call as a function definition. So function definition, what it's having? So function definition, it's having the body. So it will check the parameter. It's also having the parameter. How many parameter it's having? So see here, how many parameter? Once again, two parameter, a comma b. These a b are same as an xy. So a b is different, xy is different. Xy is nothing but it's a actual parameter. A b is nothing but it's a formal parameter. Whatever the xi value I am passing over there, that value is stored in a variable. A is a local. Once again, that a is located in a different location. A, maybe x is located 1000, I told. Similarly, y is located 1004. But a variable is a local variable for this function. A is a different memory location. A may be 2000 memory location. B may be 2004 memory location. So a will holds the what value? X value. What is the x value? 5. That 5 is stored in a. Then int b, what is the b value? B is stored in 10. That is my y value. So once 5 and 10 is stored in this variable, then if here I need to execute the body of the function. So if a, what is the a value? 5. 5 is greater than 10. Is it true? No, it's not true. If it is not true, it won't execute this statement. It will directly comes to the else part. It will return the b value. What is the b value? B value is 10. So nothing but this function will return one value. So any user defined function, so it will returns only one value. Either it will return a value, either it will return b value. So which one is true? A is greater than 5 is greater than b. Nothing but 10. Is it true? No, it's not true. It will execute the else part and it will return the b value. What is the b value? B value is a 10. Where it will coming back? Once the 10 is returned, immediately it will come back to which program? So where the particular flow is left out, there it will come back and it will store here what value? 10 value. This function, whatever the function clause is replaced with 10. So that 10 is stored in which variable? Max variable. Once the max is equal to now 10, you may print out maximum of percentage d and percentage d. These are all these three are format specifier. Percentage d, percentage d, percentage d. Maximum of percentage d, which value is x value is replacing. X is nothing but 5 and y means 10. The maximum of 5 and 10 is, what is the max value? It will hold max variable 10. 10 it will hold. The thing but a maximum of 5 and 10 is 10 only. That will print as a 10. So nothing but a 5 and 10. Which one is the maximum number? 10 is the maximum. So this function it will work. So any function call, nothing but any function, if we using the user defined function, it's having function prototype. It's also called as a function declaration. Then function, what you call as a function call. So then after that, it's a function definition. So function call is nothing but it's a calling function. Function definition is nothing but a called function. So this is in the beginning of your program, you need to mention the function prototype. It's what you call as an, it's a function prototype or function declaration. So next one, classification of function. Before that, so types of function, you can go through it. Types of function is nothing but two types of functions are there. One is what you call as in built-in functions. So we use so many built-in functions. So built-in functions already predefined in a header file. Okay, for example, already we come across scanf, printf. Scanf and printf, those two are the functions where these functions are defined in stdio.h. So those functions are what you call as in, it's a built-in functions. So where that functions are stored in a particular header file. So many examples already we come across a string.h. In the string.h header file, what are all the things are there? String copy, string cat, string length, so many built-in functions are there. Those functions already predefined in a header file, which one? String.h. Similarly, printf, scanf, all the input output statements are predefined in one particular header file. That header file what called as an stdio.io.h, standard input output header file. So like this, so many built-in functions are there. For example, I need to write my own program. Which one? I need to write my own program, max. This is what user defined. those function, whenever I need to execute some set of statement in my program, so I want to write a program. I want to compute the maximum of two numbers in my program 100 times. So rather than repeatedly I want to write the same statement, better I can make it that one you can define your own function. Whenever you need to execute, just you can call that function. So this max function I called once here. So after 10 lines in my program, I need to call once again the same function. I can call the same function, but I need to pass the different value. Yes, you can pass the different value on that time. That kind of functions are what you call as an user defined. So this is max. I need to compute the maximum of two numbers. I will define my own function. Whenever I need to call, whenever I need to identify the biggest of two numbers or which one is the maximum number, just I will call the max function. This is what you call as it's a user defined function. So comes to the categories of function. Categories, we can classify the functions or categories of functions in a four way. So how? So function with no arguments. The function I am not passing any arguments. That's the mean of function with no arguments and no return value. That function it won't return any value. The function also it won't having the any, I am not passing the any arguments, and also function won't return the any value. That is the mean. For example, marriage, you are going to a marriage function, hopefully they called, you are not taking any gift for to them, so you are not taking any gift to them. So similarly they are also won't give any gift for you. So this is what, without argument you are going, without any gift you are going, they are also not giving the gift or anything to you. So that is what called as a without argument, without return value. So another category, so you are going with a nice gift, okay, you took some gift to them to wish their marriage. So nothing but you are taking some arguments with you, nothing but arguments are nothing but some gift, but they won't get return anything for you, they won't give anything for you. That is what you call as a function with argument, no return value, they won't give any gift to you while coming back. So that is what you call as it's a second category, function with arguments and no return value. So third category, what, you are going with a gift because you are going with some argument. Argument is nothing but a gift. So they'll also give some gift to you. They'll also give something to you. That is what you call as a return value. So that is nothing but a with arguments with return value. That is the third category. Fourth category. So you are not going with any argument. Nothing but you are not taking any gift to you, gift to them, but they will give the gift to you. That nothing but a without argument. You are going to a marriage without gift, but they will give some gift to you. That is what you call as a no arguments, but with return value. These are all the four categories are there. No arguments, no return value. Arguments, no return value. So arguments with return value, no arguments with return value. So those are all the four categories are there. So we can come a simple example one by one. Okay. So this is the thing. So function with no arguments and no return value. So function one. So this is function one. You can consider as a main function. Within that function, you are calling a maximum function. Max function you are calling. So nothing but a maximum number I need to identify here. I am not passing any argument, nothing but a no input in this. It will go directly to the define where the function is defined, where that function is called. So it will go there and it will execute there itself. Once the execution is over, it won't takes any output. It won't take any return value, nothing but a no output. This function executed, whatever the things it want to print here itself, it will print and it will come back and it will continue the execution of the what are the next steps in the function one. Nothing but in main any other steps are there, it will execute. So this is what you call as an no arguments and no return value. So example, just you can see here, void main immediately hash include str header file, then void main the operating system will invoke this particular function and it will comes the execution of the main, then it will start executing the body of this particular program. So in that there is no other statements are there, directly it is calling the function, it will calling the function. Which function it's calling? Sum. Once it's calling, immediately they see here no arguments in this particular sum function. Immediately it will go and it will execute where that function is defined. The function is defined, the beginning of your program. It will go there, it will execute the sum. So here what, in that function, once again 3 arguments are there. How many arguments are there? 3 arguments are there. One is total, second one is what, A, third one is what you call as an B. Totally 3 local variables are there. Once the local variables, here I am reading the A and B value. A and B value I am reading. So once A and B, 5 plus 5, 10, 5, 10, I'm reading A value as in 5 and B value as in 10. Once I read that value, total is equal to, total is once again it's a local variable. So total is equal to 5 plus 10, 15. 15 is stored in a total variable. Now total variable having 15 value. So now I need to print the total. I'll print over here itself. Once I print that particular, the result is 15. If I print, once I printed, there is no other statement in this function, then it will come back to its where that function is defined. Which function? Main function is left out. It will come back to there. Is it any statements are there in main? No other statements are there. It will exit. So nothing but this is what, I am not passing any arguments. This function is also, some function is also won't return any value. Nothing but this means what? No arguments, no return value. This is the one example for this particular first category. So now second category. What is the second category? So second category, here the function with arguments, nothing but a function having some arguments. So nothing but the function 2. So function 2 having some arguments, then once it's called, that function is executed, or it will go and execute this function, but this function it won't return any value. That means what? With arguments, no return value. With arguments, no return value. So I'll extend the same program for this particular category. Here what? With arguments. So void main function I'm calling, so that it will execute, the operating system will execute this one. So then it will comes to the execution of the body of that particular main function. Here how many variables are there? M and N, 2 variables are there. On these 2 variables, what we want to do? So 2 variables, I need to read the M and N value. Once I enter the M and N value, M value is 5, N value is in 10. Now M value is 5 and N value is in 10. Once I got the M and N value, then I call the sum function. Once I calling this function, sum function, I am passing the argument. Nothing but this means what? I am taking the gift to marriage function. So in that marriage function, I am taking a gift. What is the value? M value is a 5 and N value is a 10. So these 2 arguments are what you call as an, these 2 arguments are called as an actual parameter. Once this function is called, that particular execution flow will left out here itself. It will continue where that function is defined. The function is defined over here. Void is nothing but it's nothing but a data type, special data type. It won't return any value. The sum int a comma b, nothing but an integer. Both are integer. Here also M and N also integer. It should match. So a, so it's a is a local variable to this function, and b is also local variable to some function. So it will allocate the separate memory. That's why these 2 are what you call as a formal parameter. What a will hold, what the m you passed in a calling function, that value will hold by a variable. So that means what? 5 is stored in a variable, 10 is stored in b variable. So then I am declaring one local variable, int total. I am declaring one local variable, that's what you call as an int total. Then I made total is equal to a plus b. Now what is the a value? 5. What is the b value? 10. 5 plus 10, 15. 15 is stored in total. Print, I am printing here itself, because this function, sum function, it won't return any value. That means what? I am passing the arguments, but no return value. I am going through with some gift, but they won't give any gift. In a marriage, that is what you call as an with arguments, no return value. Once this is over, then it will come back to the next immediately, that main function. There is no other statement in the main, and it will exit from the function. It will, the execution is over, it will come back. So like this, with arguments and no return value. So next, third category, the function with arguments and with return value. Nothing but a function, it's having a set of arguments and it's having some return value. Nothing but a function one. It's nothing but main. You think of it example that's calling the which function? It's calling the add function. Once it's called, so with arguments, it will go and it will execute that particular function body. Then it's having some result. It will bring back that result and it will continue the further execution of your main. It will come back that whatever the flow execution flow will come back, the it will continue after this particular function call, immediately will continue for the rest of the execution in your function one. So this is what with arguments, it's having some set of arguments, whatever you need to pass, it's having arguments, and also this function, it will return some value to where this function is called. It will return that value, and those value I can store and I can do the computation in your main function, or what you call as a calling function. So here the example, you can come with an example, so that nothing but so same function here also it's calling void main. So here nothing but your function some function, so it's I need to enter the m and n value, so and also I need to store some result, that variable is required result variable. I enter the m value as a 5, n value as a 10, then I'm calling the function what sum function. Sum, it will return what value? It's integer value. Once this sum function, it will return some value, then I need to store that value. So that's why I'm putting that variable is equal to, I'm calling the function. Whatever the result it will return, that value is stored in one variable. That variable name is result. So sum, here I'm passing the argument m comma. Once it's called, this is calling the function, immediately it will go and it will execute the function definition. So in a comma b. So nothing but here two arguments. M is exactly what is the m value? 5. Pi is stored in a variable. N value, what is the n value? 10 is stored in b variable. Then int total, so local variable total is equal to a plus b. What is the a value? A value is a 5, b value is a 10, 5 plus 10, 15, 15 is stored in total. Once then I am returning the value, because I declare sum is a what type, what is the return type? Integer type. It will return total. Total is an integer type. That value it will return what value? 15. 15 is that 15 value is stored in which variable? Once again that result variable. So nothing, that means what? The result is a variable, it will holds what the function where I called, it will return some value, that value is held by a local variable, nothing but that result variable. Now result will holds the 15, the print, I need to print that result, it will print. So nothing but with arguments with a return value. Function will always return a one value. The function will return one value. So that is the main. So next we move on to the last category. So nothing but so function with no argument. I am not passing any arguments, but it's having some return value. I am going marriage without any gift, but they will give gift to me while coming back. So that is that nothing but no arguments, but with return value. So here main function one example, main one is calling one function. That function is what we call as an add function. So it's add function, it without any arguments I'm going while executing that particular function, while executing that function, while executing that function. So here also we will take the same example. So same example, nothing but I want to add two numbers. So I need to print the particular value. So nothing but this means what? So just I need I'll take so here no arguments in a function. I'm not passing any arguments. I'm going without any gift. But while coming back, so it have the function will return some value to where it's called. Then nothing but it will they will give some gift to me while coming back. So that is the mean. So here the void main. Here I'm taking one local variable. So nothing but a result is it will holds, because this function some function it will return some value. I need to store that value, so that's why I'm result is equal to I'm calling the sum. Once it's called, immediately the cursor will move to where that function is defined. So here sum is there without any arguments. So here in total a comma b, so nothing but total is a one variable, a is another variable, b is another variable. So I need to enter the A and B value. A is equal to 5 and B is equal to 10. I entered using scanf statement. Once I entered, total is equal to A plus B. 5 plus 10, 15. 15 is stored in total variable. Then once that then this function will return the value, return total is nothing but 15. It will return where it will return, it will return the value 15 over here where the function is called immediately. Then that 15 is stored in which variable? Result variable. Now I am printing that result, nothing but without argument, no argument, but it's having some return value. What value it will return? 15 value it will return. That value is stored in this particular, then it will print the value. So this is the thing about the theoretical part about the function. So function, it's so many other, so many topics are there in the function. Array of functions, passing an array to a function, so many things are there. One or two example we can come across about the function. Okay, so just we move on for lab sheet 4. Okay, we can go through some of the program examples for functions. So already we discussed some of the theoretical part related to the functions and categories of functions. So what are the three important things? If we are using user-defined function, nothing but function definition, function declaration, and function call. So these are all the things we discussed. Now we can go through some of the examples. Okay. So this is the one first example. Here I need to compute NCR value. So here, so what are all the input I need to capture, N value I need to capture, and R value I need to capture. Once I compute, once I need required an NCR value, then I need to compute the N factorial value. Then I need to compute the R factorial value. Then I need to compute N minus R factorial, because NCR is equal to N factorial divided by R factorial into N minus R factorial. So I need to compute the N factorial, then I need to compute the R factorial, then I need to compute the N minus R factorial. How to write a program? So for this particular, so very simple here. So I'm using writing the program without using user-defined function. I'm not using any user-defined function. And what is the impact and how we can write the program? So if you use the user-defined function, so what is the advantage? We can come across with these two within two programs. Okay, so directly, so comes to here. So main, this is what it will return some value, that main, nothing but in main function it will return what value? Integer value. It won't, this function it won't return any value, means just to mention at the end return 0. So that is the main. Here the variables are required. I variable, it's an index variable. Then N value I required, it's a N, and R value is required, R variable. Then I need to compute the NCR, that result value I need to store in NCR variable. Then fact1, fact2, fact3. Here fact1 it will holds the N factorial value, fact2 it will holds the R factorial value, fact3 it may holds the in future N minus R factorial value. So there I need to hold the N factorial result. I require factorial one variable. I want to store the R factorial result, that is I required another variable, fact2 variable. Then I need to compute the N minus R factorial. That result is held by the fact3 variables. Total these number of variables are required. Once I declare the variables, then I need to read the N value and as well as R value. So I read N value, example 5. So R value I read 3. N value is a 5. Nothing but a 5C3. What is the 5C3? So I want to apply the formula. I want to get the result. Nothing but a N factorial. 5 factorial divided by 3 factorial into 2 factorial. So that is the result I need to expect from 5C3. 5C3. Nothing but a 5 is a N value and R value is an 3. So I need to check one thing. So here what are all the things I need to check? Two condition I need to check. If N value is less than R, if N value is less than R, is it possible to compute the NCR value? No, it's not possible. N value should always greater than R value, greater than or equal to R value. So that I need to check. If N value is less than R, then the computation of NCR is not possible. I need to print that one. Else if N value is same as an R value, that I need to check, because N value is same as an R value, then NCR value is equal to 1. Then NCR value is equal to 1. For example, 5C5. Nothing but N value is also 5 and R value is also 5. 5C5. Nothing but a 5 factorial divided by 5 factorial. 5 minus 5, 0 factorial. 5 factorial divided by 5 factorial. Obviously, it's a 1. 0 factorial is nothing but a 1 only. 1 into 5 factorial, 5 factorial. 5 by 5, nothing but a 5 factorial divided by 5 factorial. It's a 1 only. Nothing but a 120 divided by 120, 1 only. Nothing but 5C5, it will give 1. Any n value is same as an r value, it will returns the 1 value. So that's why I need to check. Else if, so n is double equal to r, print of what value, NCR is equal to 1, I need to print. Else, then I need to compute the whatever the NCR value, n factorial I need to compute, r factorial I need to compute, then I need to compute the n minus r factorial. So else, so now first I need to compute what value, n factorial. How to compute? Fact1 is equal to one variable I declared in beginning only, that fact1 is equal to initialize to 1. I initialize the 1, then I need to n, what is the 5 factorial? How to compute the 5 factorial? 5 into 4 into 3 into 1, nothing but I want to do like that repeatedly. I want to multiply with their decremental value. So how to do our incremental value? For I is equal to 1, I is less than or equal to n, I plus plus. What is the n value? 5. What is the I value? 1. 1 is less than or equal to 5. Is it true? Yes, it's true. If it is true, it will execute in its immediate statement, because this for loop it won't having the open floor bracket and closed floor bracket. If the open floor bracket is not, closed floor bracket is not there, means that body of the for loop is the next statement itself is act like a body of the that particular for loop. Here what is the body of the for loop for first for loop? Fact1 is equal to fact1 into I, that is the body of the statement. What is the fact1? Fact1 is equal to 1. 1 into, what is the I value? 1. 1 into 1, 1 only. 1 is stored in which variable? Fact1 variable. 1 is stored into which variable? Fact1 variable. Then what to do? Then I value is incremented. What is I value? 2. 2 is less than or equal to n. Is it true? 2 is less than or equal to 5. Yes, it's true. If it is true, it will execute once again. Fact1 is equal to fact1. What is the fact1? 1 into, what is I value? 2. 1 into 2, 2. 2 is stored in which variable? Fact1 variable. Then I value is incremented. 3. 3 is less than or equal to 5. Is it true? Yes, it's true. Fact1 is equal to 2 into, what is I value? 3. 2 into 3, 6. 6 is stored in which variable? Fact1 variable. Then I value is incremented. 4. 4 is less than or equal to n. Is it true? Yes, it's true. Then comes to fact1 is equal to 6 into 4. 6 into 4 means 24. 24 is stored in fact1 variable. Then I value is incremented. 5. 5 is less than or equal to 5. Yes, it's true. Fact1 is equal to 24 into 5. 24 into 5, 120. 120 is stored in which variable? Fact1 variable. Then I value is incremented. What is I value? 6. 6 is less than or equal to 5. False. It will exit from this particular for loop. Then fact1 will hold the 120 value. Then comes to next. Oh, now I computed the n factorial. Then what the value? Fact1 is hold 120. Now I need to compute what? R factorial. How to compute the R factorial? I require the fact2 variable to hold that value. Same, I want to repeat same thing. Fact2 is equal to 1. Then once again the for loop. Instead of n value, what value I need to take the condition in a for loop? R value I need to take. That's it. For I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to r, I plus plus. Fact2 is equal to fact2 into I. What is R value? 3. So 1 is less than or equal to 3. Yes, it's true. Fact2 is equal to 1 into 1, 1 only. Then I value is incremented. 2. 2 is less than or equal to r, nothing but 3. Yes, it's true. Fact2 is equal to 2 into 1, 1, 2 only. Then I value is equal to 3. 3 is less than or equal to 3. Yes, it's true. Fact2 is equal to 2 into 3, 6. 6 is stored in fact2 variable. Now I value is incremented. 4. 4 is less than or equal to 3. False. It will exit. Nothing but a fact2. It will hold the 6 value. Nothing but a r factorial I got. Now I need to what? I need to do next n minus r factorial. For that reason, fact3 is equal to 1. For I is equal to 1. I is less than or equal to n minus r I plus. What is the n value? 5. 5 minus 3. 5 minus 3 means 2. So 1 is less than or equal to 2. Yes, it's true. Fact3 is equal to 1 into 1. Nothing but a 1 only. Now I value is incremented. 2 is less than or equal to 2. Is it true? Yes, it's true. Fact3 is equal to 1 into 2. 1 into 2 means 2. 2 is stored in fact3. Now I value is incremented. 3. 3 is less than or equal to 2. False. It will exit from that particular for loop. So fact1 will holds the 120. fact2 will holds the 6 value, fact3 will holds the 3 value. That means what? Fact1 it will holds the n factorial value, fact2 it will holds the r factorial value, fact3 it will holds the n minus r factorial value. Once I computed that, then I need to apply the NCR formula. NCR is equal to what? NCR is equal to, so n factorial, nothing but a fact1 divided by fact2 into fact3. Fact2 means what? R factorial into n minus r factorial. So fact1 120 divided by, what is the fact2? Fact2 is nothing but a 6. The fact3 is nothing but a 3. 3 into, sorry, 2 into 6, 12. So 120 divided by 12, 10. 10 is stored in NCR. So NCR value of 5C3 is nothing but a 10. 10 is displayed. So this is what, without using the user defined function, I am writing the code for computing the NCR value. What is the drawback on this? See here, the same statements are executed repeatedly. So, but I am written the same statement how many times? 3 times. Here I see a for loop, 3 times I used. Here how many variables I declared? 3 times a different variable I declared, and 3 times I am computing the factorial value only. So rather than writing the same step repeatedly, rather than that one, what you make that set of statement as an one function. Whenever you need to require to call that function, you can call. Then automatically that value is held by any variable. So there it will comes in the picture of user defined. What is the drawback of this? I need to write the same set of statement repeatedly. It will increases the length of the code, and also debugging also it difficult, because all this set of statement will do the same task. What task? Computation of the n factorial or factorial of a particular number. So overcome this drawback, we can write the program using user defined function. So we can go through the user defined function. So here I'm writing the program. So hash include std.h is there. Then here int void main is there. If you write the int means you need to return something, nothing but a return 0 you can mint. Otherwise you can write it as a void. Okay. So here just you can come here. So I require the variables, index variable I, n value is required, r value is required. I need to compute the NCR, and 3 fact variables. Fact1 it will holds the n factorial value, fact2 will holds the r factorial value, fact3 will holds the variable holds the n minus r factorial value. So these 3 variables I need to declare additionally. So I need to enter the n value and r value. What's the n value? I need to pass any value. Just an example point of view, I pass the 5. R value I need to pass. For example point of view, I'll pass the 3. So n value is 5 and r value is 3. So I need to check same thing. Is it n is less than r? If it is true, then cannot possible to compute NCR value, that I need to print. So if n is less than r, just I need to execute this printf. Else if n is equal to r, nothing but n value is exactly same as an r value, printf the NCR value is equal to 1 only. I need to print that one. Else, so else what I need to do? I need to compute the 3 things. What I need to compute? The fact1 is equal to what? Fact of n. Here fact of n is a function. Here what argument I am passing? N as an argument I am passing. What value? N value I am passing. What is the n value? I am read the n value as in 5. Fact of 5. This is what? It's a calling function. Once it's called, immediately it will go and it will execute where that function is defined. Where the function is defined? Int fact of int n. In this int n value, it will store which value? 5 value. So fact of 5 I am calling. Then here local variables, 2 variables I declared. Int res, nothing but a result or whatever the res variable, comma I is nothing but an index variable. Now I once again initialize res is equal to 1. For I is equal to 1, I is less than or equal to n, and I plus plus. Once I return like this, I value is equal to 1. 1 is less than or equal to, what is the n value? 5 value. So 1 is less than or equal to 5. Is it true? Yes, it's true. If it is true, it will execute their immediate statement. Which one is the immediate? Because there is no open flower bracket, there is no closed flower bracket. There is no open flower bracket and closed flower bracket means then the body of the statement is, it's a next statement itself is the body of this statement. Only one statement. Res is equal to what? 1 into 1, 1 into 1, 1 is stored in res variable, then I value is incremented, 2 is less than or equal to 5. Is it true? Yes, it's true. Res is equal to 1 into 2. 1 into 2 means then they got a 2. 2 is stored in res. Then I value is incremented. I value is nothing but a 3. 3 is less than or equal to 5. Yes, it's true. RES is equal to 2 into 3, 6. 6 is stored in RES variable. I value is incremented 4. 4 is less than or equal to 5. Yes, it's true. RES is equal to 6 into 4. 6 into 4, 24. 24 is stored in RES. I value is incremented 5. 5 is less than or equal to 5. Yes, it's true. RES is equal to 24 into 5. Nothing but 120 is stored in RES variable. Now I value is incremented 6. 6 is less than or equal to 5. It's a false. False means it exit from this particular for loop. What is the what value it will return? Return RES value. What is the return of RES? RES, it holds the 120. 120 it will returns to where this function is called. Where this function is called? In the main. So 120 is replaced with this particular function call. That 120 hold by the which variable? Fact1 variable. Then, oh, I got the fact1 value. Then fact2 is equal to fact of r. Nothing but here once again it's calling the same function. Which function? Fact function. What is the argument you are passing? R value. What is the R value taken? 3. Now fact of 3. Now fact of 3, it will compute with the same mechanism. 1 is equal to I is equal to 1. 1 is less than or equal to 3. Then if it is yes, 1 is less than or equal to 3, yes, it's true. RES is equal to 1 into 1, 1. Then I value is incremented 2. 2 is less than or equal to 3. Yes, it's true. RES is equal to 2 into 1, 2. Then I is incremented 3. 3 is less than or equal to 3. Yes, it's true. RES is equal to 2 into 3, 6. 6 is stored in RES. Now I value is incremented 4. 4 is less than or equal to 3. Is it true? False. It will exit. Nothing. It will returns what value? RES value. Nothing but RES value is nothing but a 6. For this fact of R, it will returns what value? 6 value. That value is stored in which variable? Fact2 variable. Similarly, I need to compute fact of nothing but n minus r factorial. So I'm calling the same function, fact function. I'm passing what value? N minus r. N value is nothing but a 5. R value is nothing but a 3. Nothing but a 2 I am passing. Factorial 2 means it will this function it will return once again 2 value to this particular variable. It will that fact3 it will store the 2 value. Factorial of 2 means 2 into 1 nothing but it's a 2 value. It will say it will go and it will execute same function. So it will return this function. It will return the 2 value over here. Once it will return, then NCR is equal to fact1 divided by fact2 into fact3. Fact2 means what? 6. Fact3 means what? 2. 6 into 2, 12. Fact1 is nothing but 120. 120 divided by 12 means 10. 10 value is stored in NCR. So NCR I am trying to print. So this is a very simple same. Here what? I am using the user rather than instead of writing repeatedly the same set of statement over here, you can call a function. You can make those set of statement as a one function. Whenever you need to execute this set of statement, just you can call that function. Here I'm calling the fact1, nothing but a fact10 is nothing but a 5. So now whenever I need to get the factorial of r value means just you can call fact of r. Here r is the argument I am passing to this function. It will go and it will execute. So whenever you require to call a fact of factorial function, just you can call and get the result, get back the result for this. So this is it will helps. It will I can write the modular program. I can this program and program traceability is also very easy and reuse the code whenever you want to execute the code. You can execute any number of times. Then it will give the structure of proper structure of your program. So that is the advantages of user-defined function. So this is about the without writing the user-defined function, we can write the code, but it increases the complexity of the program also. It will increases the length of the program also. So and also it's a bit difficult for identifying the error. But in this program, we can easily identify the error. We can write the modular programming and we can increase the traceability also. So many advantages are there for user-defined functions. This is what example we already come across for that categories of functions. So categories, we already come across 4 different categories. One is without parameter, without return value or return type, without parameter with return value, with parameter without return value, with parameter with return value. So these are all the 4 categories are there. We can go one by one. Within 2 minutes we can go, because already this example we come across the with the theoretical part. So this is what without parameter with without return value or return type. So here what I'm same fact function I'm calling in a main. So in this fact function, this is what it's a calling function. So here there is, I'm not passing any arguments, and once I'll go and execute this particular function where it's defined, here I'm taking the n as an n value I required, then n factorial value because I need to compute the n factorial value. Then res and variable, and nothing but a result variable I need to print, and I variable is a index variable. Print of enter the number, I enter the in value as a 5. Res is equal to once again 1, for I is equal to 1, I is less than or equal to 5, I plus plus. So nothing but 1 is less than or equal to 5. Yes, it's true. Result is equal to 1 into 1, 1. So that executed I value is incremented. 2, 2 is less than or equal to 5. Yes, it's true. 1 into 2, 2. Then I value is incremented 3. 3 is less than or equal to 5. Yes, it's true. Res is equal to 2 into 3, 6. 6 is stored in res variable. Then I value is incremented 4. 4 is less than or equal to 5. Yes, it's true. Res is equal to 6 into 4, 24. 24 is stored in res variable. I value is incremented 5. 5 is less than or equal to 5. Is it true? Yes, it's true. That means that res is equal to, res is nothing but a 24 into 5, nothing but 120 is stored in this particular variable. Then if it is stored, it will print the factorial of 5. It's printed here itself 120. So like this I can print. This is what, without any arguments, this function it don't return any value. So that's why we mention as in void. Void fact void. So that's the mean. There is no arguments, no return value. So like this we can work. So next one, we will move on to the next another category. So nothing but a category 2 without any parameter with a return type. So here I am calling the function in main. I am calling the some function. So which function I am calling? So fact, whatever this function, it will return some value. That value is stored in res. So that's why I'm declare within a main. I declare one local variable that nothing but res. This fact function is called. Fact function is, so this fact function, it will return some value. That value I can store in res variable, nothing but a fact. It don't having any parameters. So it don't having any parameters. It will return some value. That value is stored in a variable. Nothing but no arguments with return type. Once it's called, same it will go back and it will execute this particular function and enter the n value, because three variables I am using, n comma res comma I variable is act like index variable, n factor because n value I need to take, I need to reuse the scanf statement, I read the n value once again 5, nothing but I need to compute what, how many 5 factorial I need to compute, it will execute the same thing, it will return the 5 factorial means 120, it will return this function, it will return where, it will return where the function is called, it will return back the value, what value, 120, that value is returned. So that 120 is stored in res variable. This main function, it will print that res result, nothing but 120 it will print, nothing but without arguments, it's having some return value, that value is stored in this local variable and I need to print. So this is the example for second category. Third category, with parameter, I am passing the parameter but without any return value. So nothing but int, nothing but in a main I have one local variable n variable. I need to enter that number. So nothing but a scan. I need to read that number. I read the 5, n value as in 5. Then fact of 5, nothing but a factorial of 5. Once again, I'm calling the function. The function I'll go here. It's a void, nothing but a, this function, it won't having any return value. It won't return any value. The fact int n means once again that 5, this n is matching with this n. That 5 value is stored in this particular variable, n variable. Then int res1. So once again initialize the res, then you can call same thing. For I is equal to 1, I is less than or equal to n, I plus plus, repeatedly execute the same set of statement. So it will store 5 factorial means once again it's 120. 120 is stored in res variable. Once it will exit from this far, then it will print here itself what is the res value. For factorial of 5 is 120, it will print. Then after that it will come back to the main program. There is no other set of other statement, it will exit from the program. So like this here, that means what, here I am passing the arguments without any return value. This function, it won't return any value to the main. So that is the mean. So about the category 3. So category 4, it's nothing but a with parameter with return value. So I am passing the parameter and this function it will return some value. What value? Integer value. Once again I'm passing what? N value, 5 factorial. So it will compute the factorial, nothing but 120 value that is returned to this particular where the function is called. It will return the value. That 120 is stored in the variable res variable, and it will print the values. That means what? With parameter, without any return value. The same program we can write either any one category. So all the categories are not needed. Which category is suitable for while taking the input? That's depending upon the mechanisms and techniques. You can use any category you can use and write the user defined function. So this is about that whatever the categories of functions. So another example for functions here, array. What is meant by array? Array is nothing but it's a collection of data items which are all having same data type. That is what we call as an array. I'm passing the array to a function. I'm passing a array to a function. So this is the one example we can go through for the function programs. Okay, this is very important example. So I'm passing an array as a parameter to a function. Okay, so here write a C program to read the values to the array. Whatever the array is there, I want to read those values and pass the array to a function. I am passing the array to a function. That what is the function name? So prime. So I'm calling a function that having the prime is a function name. So here I'm passing the one array. So nothing but a int a. Int a is nothing but it's an array. Then I am passing the one more variable, nothing but a int n. So n is another variable. Its type is integer. So here what we need to do, checks whether the element of the array is a prime or not. So here array element, so many, maybe a of maybe five element I am passing in the array. First element is a prime or not. Second element is a prime or not. Third element is a prime or not. I need to check. If the array element is not prime, if the array element is not a prime number, then what to do? Set the value to 0. For example, I'm passing the array element 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what is the array element I'm passing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what the array element I'm passing? First element is a 1, second element is a 2, third element is a 3, fourth element is a 4, and fifth element is a 5. So this is what? It's an array. So this is I am passing the array elements. So here what I need to do? So here I need to check. What I need to check? So is it the first number is a prime number or not? If it is prime, no issue. The second number is a prime or not? If it is not, if it is a prime, no issue. Third number is a prime or not? If it is no issue, no. If it is a 4 is a prime or not? It's not a prime. If this is not a prime, then I want to replace this value with 0. This value with 0 means what? So I want to, whatever the, so here 4 is not a prime number, nothing but I want to replace with whatever the 4 value with 0, and I need to display all the array elements with a prime number, because non-prime number it's make it as a 0. So that is the agenda of this particular the aim of this particular program. So using the function, in that function I need to call, so mainly this program, so we are calling a user defined function. That function is an prime. So here I am passing the one argument, that argument is an array, another argument is an integer variable. So I can call the prime function. I need to identify, is it that element is a prime number or not? If that number is not prime, then make it as a 0 value. If it is prime, you can leave it, then you display all the prime numbers. So that is the main intention or aim of this particular program. So here std hash include std order, it's a header file. So it's I required some of the input statement and output statement, as well as scanf and printf statement. So I required a header file. So int count is equal to 0. Here I am declaring one variable, that nothing but that variable is nothing but it's a global variable declaration. So this particular variable either I can use in a main program or I can use in a prime program. So that's why that I declare this variable globally. Okay, that is the mean of global declaration. So okay, in depth I won't go what exactly mean by global or what exactly mean by local. Okay, so next I'll move to the next directly I'll go to main function. So main, so main, so it will execute the operating system. It will directly come and it will execute, start execution of main. Here I declared I, n variable, I variable, and array variable a of 50. Now array size is a of 50. Now I need to enter the reads the number of elements in an array. So I need to require how many number of elements I need to enter. So here I want to read scan of n value. Maybe I entered 5 elements. N value is 5. I want to need feed the 5 elements. For that reason, enter the array elements. I required a for loop for I is equal to 0, I is less than n, I plus plus, scan of percent a of 0, I stored one value, then I value is incremented, a of 1 is less than 5, yes it's true, a of 1 I stored two value, then after that what I did, so I value is incremented to a of 2 is less than or equal to 5, is it true, yes it's true, then I enter the value 3, then I value is incremented, I is equal to nothing but a 3, so a of 3 is nothing but a 4, 4 I entered, then I value is incremented, 4 is less than 5, yes it's true, then I enter the a of 4 means it's a 5 value entered, then I value is incremented 5 is less than 5, false, I exit, nothing but a of 0, the value is stored 1, a of 1 value is stored 2, a of 2 value is stored 3, a of 3 value is stored 4, a of 4 value is stored 5. So in array element a of 5 is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. So like this, that 5 values I read, so that 5 values is stored in the form of the array. So once I stored, then what I can do, now I need to call a function. Which function? Prime function. So I call the prime function. So here it's having a is nothing but it's I am passing an array. So I am passing an array as a parameter and I pass the n value. What is the n value? N value I passed 5. So array elements I need to pass, array I need to pass in a parameter for this prime function and I pass the n value as 5. Once I calling the function, where it will go, where that function is defined, where this function is defined, so immediately it will go there, it will go here and it will start execution. Void means this function it won't return any value, that's why what is the special data type, void data type I mentioned, so it's a return type function. So prime int a, so a nothing but array passed and what is the n value, 5. So int I comma j, I is a one more index variable and j is another index variable. So here first I need to what do I need to do, is it array, in an array I want to find is it that element is prime or not, I need to check. Here all the array elements I need to check, nothing but I need to read all the array elements. For that reason I want to put for I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, it will reads the array elements one by one. Then so comes to then I need to check is it that number is prime or not. I need to check that particular whatever the array element, maybe a of 0, is it this number is prime or not, how to check, and after that I need to check second number is prime or not, third number is prime or not, fourth number is prime. So I need to check that particular thing. For that particular I require for j is equal to 2 and j is less than a of I j plus plus. Why? Because j is equal to 1 and 2, that those two are obviously prime. If that other than the number, if it is exists greater than that number it is exists, I need to check the condition. So for that reason j is equal to 2, so whatever the 2 is less than whatever the a of I. So for example, what is the I value? 0. I value is what? 0. So j value is 2. 2 is less than a of 0. A of 0 means what value? A of 0 means 1. 2 is less than 1. Is it true? No, it's not true because 2 is greater than 2. If not means immediately it won't execute, it will skip this particular for loop, then I value is incremented. Now what is I value? I value is equal to 1. I value is 1. 1 is less than 5. 1 is less than 5. Yes, it's true. Then it will comes to once again innermost for loop. Once again innermost for loop for j is equal to 2. So 2 is less than a of 1. A of 1 means what? 2. 2 is less than 2. Is it true? No, it's also not true. It's a false. Then once again it won't exit. It will exit from this for loop. It will go back and I value is incremented. What is I value now? I value is equal to 2. I value is 2. 2 is less than 5. Yes, is it true? Yes, it's true. Once again it will come. Once again innermost for loop. For j is equal to 2. So 2 is less than a of 2. A of 2 means 3. Now come. 2 is less than 3. Is it true? Yes, it's true. If it is true, now I need to check. Is it this one is a this 3 is prime or not? How to check? I need using the if condition. If nothing but if a of a of I means what? A of 2 means 3. 3 mod 3 mod j. What is the j value? J value is 2. 3 mod 2. 3 mod 2 means 1. 1 is double equal to 0. Is it true? No, it's not true. If not true means obviously this number is a prime, but it's not. It's not an. It's a non-prime means if it is, I need to check. For example, 3 mod 2 is double equal to 0. Is it true? It's not true. Then it won't execute this particular statement. The j value is incremented. Now what is the j value? J value is also 3. 3 is less than 3. No, it's false. I want to exit from the loop because 3 is a prime number. I don't want to change anything in that. So I want to exit from this for loop. Then I value is incremented. What is I value? Now I value is equal to what? 3. 3 is less than 3 is less than 5. Is it true? Yes, it's true. For j is equal, once again, j is equal to 2. 2 is less than a of 3. A of 3 means what value? 4 value. 2 is less than 4. Is it true? Yes, it's true. Then I'm going to come here. If a of I, what is a of I? A of I is nothing but a 4. 4 mod, what is the j value? 2. 4 mod 2. What is the 4 mod 2? 0. Remainder is 0. 0 is double equal to 0. Yes, it's true. A of I. A of I means which value? A of I means A of 3. A of 3 is equal to what? I want to make it as initialized to 0 value. 0 value. I want to make it as a 0 value. That means what? Now A of 3 position, what value I stored? 0. Instead of 4, I stored 0 value. Then what I need to do? Count I incremented. Now I have one more variable, global variable I declared, count I incremented. Once this one is over, j value is incremented. What is the j value? J value is equal to 3. 3 is less than A of, once again it will repeatedly, it will execute. 3 is less than 4. Is it true? Yes, it's true. 3 mod, nothing but a 4 mod 3. It's a remainder is 1. Then it won't, it's a false. It will exit from this particular. J value is incremented. 4 is less than 4. Is it true? False. If it is false, it will exit from this particular. Now comes to here. I is incremented. What is I value? I value is equal to 4. 4 is less than 5. Yes, it's true. For once again, j is equal to 2. 2 is less than 5. Yes, it's true. It will come here. 5 mod 2. 5 mod 2 means A of I means A of 4. A of 4 means 5. Mod, what is the j value? 2. 5 mod 2 is double equal to 0. No, 1 is double equal to 0. No, false. It won't execute this set of statement. J value is incremented. Now j value is 3. So once again, 3 is less than 5. Yes, it's true. So 3 is less than whatever the 5 mod 3. Once again, 3 mod 2 values there. 2 is double equal to 0. No, it's not false. Then j value is incremented. Now j is equal to 4. 4 is less than 5. Is it true? Yes, it's true. Then comes to 5 mod 4. 5 mod 4 means 1. 1 is double equal to 0. Is it true? No, false. Then I don't want to. Then j value is incremented. 5. 5 is less than 5. It's false. It will exit. Then I value is incremented. I value is nothing but now 6. 6 is less than 5. Is it true? It's a false. It will exit. So why is repeatedly this statement will execute after executing maybe 5 mod 2? Why we required 5 mod 3, sir? Why? Because maybe the rather instead of 5 you can take 6 value, okay, or 7 value, some other value you can take. So it can identify either the I value, j value goes on incrementing A of I with respect to of modular of j value. Either j is maybe 2, maybe 3. It's a less than whatever the n value. That I need to check over here. So that's the reason. So like this, now 1 is a prime number, 2 is a prime number, 3 is a prime number, 4 is not a prime number. It's make it as 0, and 5 is a prime number. It will print that all 1, 2, 3, 0, 5. It will print as it is. So for that reason here, before while printing this, I need to check the count. If the count is exactly same as an n, then there is no prime number. All are non-prime numbers I need to print. Here that's why they taken if count is whatever the count is equal to now 1. 1 is double equal to 5. No, it's not. Then it will comes to else part. Else it will print the whatever the all the array elements. What are all the array elements except 0 I need to print. Only prime value I need to print means I need to check the condition. What condition I need to check? If a of I is not equal to 0, then only I need to print that value. Here, first I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. If a of 0, a of 0 means what? 1. 1 is not equal to 0, yes, it's true, it will print the 1 value. Then I value is incremented. A of 1 is less than 5, yes, it's true. A of 1, what is the value? 2. 2 is not equal to 0, yes, it's true, it will print the value 2. Then I value is incremented. I value 2. 2 is less than 5. Yes, it's true. A of 2. A of 2 means 3. 3 is not equal to 0. Yes, it's true. It will print that value. Here, 0 is there. Instead of 4, what the value is changed? 0. Then comes to here. In the which place? I place means it's a third place. 3 is less than 5. Yes, it's true. If A of 3. A of 3 means 0. Here actually 0 is there. 0 is not equal to 0. False. Then it won't execute this statement. Immediately it will I value incremented. I is nothing but a 4. 4 is less than 5. Yes, it's true. A of 4 means 5. 5 is not equal to 0. Yes, it's true. If it is true, it will print the value. Then I is incremented. 5 is less than 5. It's a false. It will exit from the for loop. So like this, I can compute, identify using the user-defined function prime number. I can identify the prime number. If it is non-prime, I make it as a 0. Then I printed display all the prime number values. So this is about functions. Thank you for watching the video. Okay, thank you.